Now, the Israel-Hamas war is now part of the landscape at several universities, including right here in Michigan.
Well, 10 camps have been taking over college campuses as pro-Palestinian protesters demand these universities divest from companies profiting from the war. Encampments have popped up at campuses nationwide, including Columbia University in New York, Penn State, UCLA, and the University of Vermont. Many Jewish students at these schools say they worry about their safety.
7 News Detroit reporter Whitney Burney is joining us live from the University of Michigan campus in Ann Arbor, where students have been camping out for about a week now. Whitney?
Hey, good morning, Keena and Alicia. Yes, that's exactly correct. It's been 7 days since students have taken over the diag here at the University of Michigan. You can see several tents are still here behind me this morning. The students inside those tents, of course, calling for the university to divest. They're from a number of different student organizations here at the university that have formed a coalition. They say they're prepared to be here as long as it takes for the university to meet their demands. After a full week, students at the University of Michigan remain steadfast. Nearly 24 tents covering the university diag as students demand the school divest money from companies profiting from the war in Gaza.
At the University of Michigan, there's over $6 billion invested either directly in companies or in private equity firms that manage funds that go to companies that are in weapons manufacturing, Israeli companies, tech firms.
The protest, which started at U of M last Monday, is a part of a growing number of students at universities across the country pushing back against the war. There are also encampments at NYU, Yale, and Columbia University, among others.
It's important for us as U.S. citizens to stand up and let our voices be heard about it because it's our tax dollars that are going to funding this thing.
While some community members have shown up to support the student protesters, others say they're trying to bridge the divide.
It's necessary for outsiders to come in and say, listen, why don't you two groups start thinking about what's good for both of you? You're both going to be here in the future. The Israeli kids are going to be here in the future. The Palestinian kids are going to be here in the future. They're both going to live and be well. Why not start now trying to live and be well together?
Last week, a group of students with Israeli flags also showed up to counter the student protesters and to start a dialogue.
We want everyone to be safe. We want to stop the dying, stop the killing. I mean, we just want everyone to return home safely.
Now, the university, when we reached out to them last week, told us that they do have a policy in place, which has been in place for about 20 years, which shields their investments from political pressures. They went on to tell our news crews that much of the school's endowment is from donor funding, which is given for specific purposes. Live here in Ann Arbor, Whitney Burney, 7 News Detroit.